I still remember the day my father's laughter carved through my heart like a serrated blade. "You'll ruin this family," he had sneered, crumpling my dreams into a ball of contempt. "Ritualistic communication with rats? You think they're going to listen to you? You're insane." My mother's eyes, usually so filled with warmth, were clouded with disappointment. I had always felt like an outcast in my own home, but that day their words echoed in my mind like a funeral dirge. Disgrace, madness, delusion. I stood there, a fresh graduate from the academy, clutching my research notes, the fruits of my obsession, a passion that was dismissed as a folly. I watched as the doors of my family's approval slammed shut, sealing me away from their world. But rather than cower, I embraced the shadows, the whispers, and the hidden truths that hung like fog in the air around me, drawing me closer to the underground where few dared to tread. Years passed. I plunged deeper into my field, becoming an occult verminologist, and with each passing moment, I became more entrenched in a reality that lay beyond the grasp of conventional understanding. I didn't just observe the swarm. I spoke to them through ancient rituals, uncovering their collective intelligence, an eerie, cult-like communion that not only revealed their existence as mere pests, but as something far more terrifying. I learned how to ritualize my findings, crafting incantations that resonated through the walls of their hidden realm. But the horrors I faced, the grotesque encounters with vermin that twisted my psyche, twisted the very fabric of my body. These were not just academic pursuits, they were survival. I emerged from the depths of filth, a living testament to truths that others dared not acknowledge. And somewhere along the way, I became something more, a warning. A shadow draped in the cloak of knowledge no one wanted. And then the day came when I decided to return home. The urge to confront my family was a gnawing ache in my chest, a pull toward the very roots that had once scorned me. I arrived unannounced, feeling every step lead me deeper into the trap of their disbelief. The air felt charged, teetering on the precipice of something that would ripple through their lives. "Look who's back," my brother said, voice thick with disdain. "The rat whisperer." "David, don't," my father warned. Yet I could see the flicker of curiosity in his eyes. "You should have stayed away, all of you. You wouldn't understand what I've seen." Their mockery hit differently now. I was no longer that unsure child. I was adorned in the cloak of my experiences, a dark regalia that whispered secrets of ancient rituals and vermin intelligence. "Let me show you," I said, a chilling calm settling over me. I pulled a small, intricately carved talisman from my pocket, an object woven with symbols of communication and protection. "You have to see what I've learned." The room fell silent, the tension thick as they exchanged glances, their disbelief warring with the curiosity that had always lingered. I beckoned them closer, inviting them to witness the living proof of my studies. As I performed the ritual, the air shifted, heavy with dread. I whispered my incantation, each word laced with the energy of everything I had overcome. And then it happened. The ground trembled, a low rumble that resonated beneath us, and from the corners of their neatly appointed living room, the shadows began to crawl. They slithered into the light, and in an instant, the familiar form of rats began to emerge, not just swarming but forming shapes, patterns, and movements that were uncannily synchronized. They moved like a living, breathing tapestry, the very essence of my research manifesting before their horrified eyes. My family staggered back, mouths agape, eyes wide with terror. I could hear my mother's breath hitch, a choked sob escaping her lips, as the tide of rodentia flowed like a dark river toward us, their beady eyes reflecting the flickering light in a mesmerizing dance of terror. "They see us," I whispered, feeling the communion swell around us. "They hear you." It was then that the culmination of years of ridicule and disbelief crashed upon them. As I stood there, the dark swarm encircled me like a crown of shadows. I could almost taste the bitterness of vindication. Their eyes widened, horror etched into their features as they realized the cost of their disbelief. The weight of my knowledge pressed down upon them, a crushing admission that they had mocked the very truths that now haunted them. And then they ran. My family scattered, scrambling backward in a frenzy of panic, their faces pale against the creeping shadow that now engulfed the room. I stood at the center, a twisted sense of resolution flooding through me. As the last remnants of their laughter faded, what remained was the silence of understanding, the echo of my own vindication. I turned my back to the chaos, watching as the vermin engulfed the space they had once claimed as their home, a relentless tide washing over the remnants of their disbelief. Now I carry with me not just the burden of knowledge, but a chilling testament to what they had refused to see. I left the house that day, a solitary figure cloaked in the shadows of my truth, knowing that from that moment on, nothing would ever be the same again. Not for them, nor for me. The darkness was not just an enemy, it was a companion, a reminder of the weight of what I had survived, and the knowledge I now bore unflinchingly. In the end, I had not returned to them as a disgrace, but as a harbinger of truths that claw at the fringes of our reality. And in that dark moment, I became the embodiment of the very horror they had dismissed. I was no longer the student they scorned. I was the whisperer of the vermin, and they were forever ensnared by their own scorn.